A very good afternoon to all brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. Today is Sunday, 7 April 2024. We will be continuing our sharing from this book, the Heart Sutra. We are at chapter 3, or third Heart Sutra class, page 19. Okay, so as usual, we will now have our physical puja. Let us compose our mind, develop the faith, Saddha, Virya, and mindfully we shall commence the physical puja. Namo 本师释迦牟尼佛。Namo 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 观世音菩萨。Namo 观世音菩萨。Namo 观世音菩萨。南无阿弥陀佛，南无阿弥陀佛，南无阿弥陀佛，南无弥勒佛，南无弥勒佛，南无弥勒佛，南无普贤菩萨，南无普贤菩萨，南无普贤菩萨，南无地藏王菩萨，南无地藏王菩萨，南无地藏王菩萨。南无佛菩萨，南无佛菩萨，南无佛菩萨。阿拉汉萨玛萨布陀巴嘎哇，布当巴嘎วันตัง阿比瓦đềมิ。สวากาโตบาคะวะตาธัมโมDhammang namasami. Supatipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho sanghang namami. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhaṃ saranang gacchāmi, Dhammang saranang gacchāmi, Sanghang saranang gacchāmi, Dutiyampi Buddhaṃ saranang gacchāmi, Dutiyampi Dhammang saranang gacchāmi, Dutiyampi Sanghang saranang gacchāmi, Tatiyampi Buddhaṃ saranang gacchāmi, Tatiyampi Dhammang saranang gacchāmi, Tatiyampi Sanghang saranang gacchāmi. Pānātipātā vēramani sikkhapadang samadhiyāmi. Adina dana vēramani sikkhapadang samadhiyāmi. Kāmesu miccacara vēramani sikkhapadang samadhiyāmi. Musāvādā vēramani sikkhapadang samadhiyāmi. Surameraya majjapamadatthāna vēramani sikkhapadang samadhiyāmi. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, let us pay respect to Puja. Buddhaṃ pujami. Dhammang pujami. Sanghang pujami. Invocation to the Devas. In this universe in their entirety, let the deities or Devas come here. Let them hear the good teachings of the King of Sages, which gives heaven and release. Nibbana. This is the time to listen to the teaching. This is the time to listen to the teaching. This is the time to listen to the teaching. Samanta Chakawalisu Atra Gachantu Devata Saddamang Munirajasa Sunantu Sakemokadang Dhamma Savanan Kalo Ayang Badanta Dhamma Savanan Kalo Ayang Badanta Dhamma Savanan Kalo Ayang Badanta Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Iti peso bhagava arahang sama sambuddho Bija charana sampanno sugato lokavidu Anuttaro purisa dhamma sarti satta deva manusanang Buddho bhagavati Swakato bhagavata dhammo Sanditiko akaliko Ehipaseko opanayiko Pacatang veditabo vinohiti Supatipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho Uyupatipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho Nyāyapatipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho Samicipatipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho Yadidang Chatari Purisa Yogani Atta Purisa Pugala Esa Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Ahuneyo Pahuneyo Dakineyo Anjali Karaneyo Anuttarang Punyang Ketang Lokasati Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu. Okay, now we'll continue our sharing from this third Heart Sutra class, page 19. So you can follow the text which is on the Zoom. Okay, third Heart Sutra class is a meditation, come Dhamma Sharing, and meditation reporting class. So it's a 3-hour session, starting at 3 p.m., ending at 6 p.m. And this Heart Sutra short notes that we compiled at that time, after I was given the draft by Sister Lee, then I edited it and reproduced it for sharing at the next session. So all these are the result of all those sharing over 15 months. And it so happened after we use it for sharing, many Kayamita find it so useful. So they requested permission from me to compile into a book. That's how we started the project in the year 2011. Then we completed it in the year 2012. So these are the results of all those work. Wait, I just checked the date again. I think this second edition is much later. So first edition was February 2012, yeah, correct. So February 2012, we did the thing. Then after that, we managed to print the first edition. Then after that, I think 8 years later, in the year 2020, we updated it as a second edition. And this second edition is much better because the subtitle, the heading, everything, they are there. And we have the appendix to help in the understanding of many important aspects of the teachings too. And apart from the appendix, we also have what we call the index, where you can find all the relevant topic at the end there. So you don't have to flip the whole book. You just look for it, then it will tell you what page you can find. Okay, so short notes taken to assist in developing a clearer and better understanding of the Heart Sutra class, which was discussed. So part 1 is always a recapitulation and emphasis on the previous lesson. So we will begin by 1.1, which is a question asked by one of the Kayamita at that time. So question 1, why must we go through the introductions by Master Xuanhua instead of going into the Heart Sutra teaching direct? So these were the questions asked. I think they are very good questions, so I need to explain at that time because very few people understand the connection between the introduction by Master Xuanhua and the 6 Patriarch Platform Sutta, because they are very closely related to the understanding of the Heart Sutra teaching. So here I explain it. You all can pay attention and develop the understanding. So my reply was, I say, a very good question. It will be like building a high-rise building without having a stable foundation. As I have explained, the Heart Sutra is a very profound teaching. And it must be understood that without a proper foundation being taught to you, it is almost nearly impossible to understand this teaching unless some of you have had very strong past cultivation to help support you in the understanding of this sutta. Hence, this is the reason why I started off by introducing you to the final summary of the First Noble Truth of Dukkha, followed by the in-depth explanation of the meaning of the first 2 aspects of the 5 aggregates of form and mind in the first Heart Sutra class. This is to help establish a base for you to understand the great similarity between Sakyamuni Buddha's teaching and that of the Heart Sutra as expounded by Kuan Yin Bodhisattva. Then both teachers emphasized the importance of understanding the 5 aggregates of form and mind and why they are all empty, that is, their anatta nature, their sunyata or empty nature. Then the introduction by Master Xuanhua also explained how wonderful and full of wisdom this Heart Sutra is, and also why it is so important to read through this sutta diligently many times, because each repetition will reveal to the reader a new depth or a new level of understanding, thus bringing about immeasurable benefits. And Shenhua mentioned it in his book, the introduction by Master Shenhua. He said, in a book 10 times its length, one could not fully praise its value as a key to the understanding of human life. Hence the famous saying, true emptiness is wonderful existence. That is, understanding true emptiness can lead to deep understanding of human life. Hence, life or existence will be very meaningful and very wonderful once this Heart Sutra wisdom has been developed. Then Master Shenhua also stressed on the importance of having real spiritual understanding rather than deep learning or knowledge-based understanding. Only as a true prerequisite for expounding this Heart Sutra. So it shows to us that to really have the ability to expound the Heart Sutra, you need a very strong foundation or true spiritual understanding of this teaching, rather than just knowledge-based scholarly type understanding, because this teaching is based on realization. Normal knowledge-based or thought-based understanding cannot penetrate the teaching. So the main concern of the Heart Sutra and all the other sutra that the Buddha has spoken is simply to understand deeply the question of birth, life and death of living beings. So this question has been greatly discussed. What is birth? What is death? And what is life that exists in between birth and death? So answering questions like this, which I think Shenhua put it very well. So this one I also add in certain part from the Theravada Sutra. Why must we avoid all evil, do good and purify the mind? Means follow the advice of the Buddha. Then why are we born? And where will we go when we die? What we must do while here? How can we stop our suffering and find true happiness for ourselves and others? What is death? What dies? And who dies? Then who are you? What are you? What is life all about? How to understand its deep meaning and purpose. So all these are questions that are very pertinent or important to living beings, especially human beings. If you don't meditate to develop the understanding based on pure belief, you will not have the true understanding. Your belief alone may not take you very far. Even very strong faith, maybe it can start the process if the faith is really sincere and stable. Then it can start the process of inquiry, cultivation. Then finally maybe you can develop the understanding. But without cultivation, it is near to impossible to develop the understanding, because these teachings are based on wisdom that are very profound. Great beings, Sammasambuddha, Mahasattva, great bodhisattvas, they have cultivated very long and developed the penetrative understanding to awaken to all these teachings, which are all beyond time, beyond thought, beyond the mundane thinking. So that is the reason why. So we will now move on to the second question. Why must we also study the Sixth Patriarch Platform Sutta? So this is a very good question. So as I have explained many times, the Sixth Patriarch Platform Sutta is very, very important. These are the pinnacles of winning the Sixth Patriarch's wisdom. And you cannot penetrate the Sixth Patriarch Platform Sutta's teaching, chances are you cannot understand the Heart Sutra's teaching. But the Heart Sutra's teaching is also beyond thought, beyond mind, and very profound indeed. So now I will read through to you my answer to them at that time so that you can develop the understanding. I explain. As the Heart Sutra teaching is so profound because it is beyond thought, beyond mind, and beyond the conditioned world, hence we need to understand the Sixth Patriarch's Platform Sutta, especially so the two famous poems as written by Venerable Sun Xiu and Master Huining. Only then can we develop the understanding to go beyond mind. To understand the Heart Sutra, which is so abstract with sayings like, form does not differ from emptiness, and emptiness does not differ from form. For form itself is emptiness, and emptiness itself is form. Then, towards the end, the Heart Sutra says, therefore, in true emptiness, there is no form, no feeling, etc., no eye, no ear, etc., no sight, no sound, etc., no field of vision, up to and including no field of mind consciousness, then no ignorance or ending of ignorance, up to and including no old age, sickness and death, or ending of it, and no Four Noble Truths, and no understanding, and no attaining, etc. So these are very complex wisdom and understanding, which is based on the unconditioned Dhamma. Unless you have realized the cessation, you cannot understand all these profound words of Heart Sutra. Okay, then the next part is 1.3. Regarding the Sixth Patriarch Platform Sutta, the two poems. Based on his poem, Sun Xiu has yet to realize the true mind, and his inability to comprehend the higher Dhamma as realized by Huining. The reason being, he is using his mundane mind or thought process to cultivate, hence the delusion. In my second and third Heart Sutra class recap, I delve in more detail into Huining's Sixth Patriarch Platform Sutta, and I also taught you all how to see form, the unreality of form, its condition arising or impermanent nature, and its non-self or empty nature, so as to enable you all to develop the wisdom to finally see beyond form. This is then followed by the same understanding that all the other four aggregates of mind, Vedana, Sanya, Sankara, and Vijnana are also impermanent, causes suffering, and are empty. Only then can you start to develop the understanding of why form is emptiness and emptiness is form. So all these are the preparatory teaching and sharing. Okay, the next part. Mundane life with and without spiritual understanding. This part is very important. Now you pay attention. We go into it and maybe we discuss it. We can be very successful in life, both financially and career-wise. Means both of these are mundane aspects of life. So we grew up in a society that emphasizes a lot on academic success and financial freedom or financial success. So academic is related to your study. Then after you complete your study, you will come out and develop your career life. So your career life is the one that determines whether you are successful or you are not successful. So if you are not successful in your career life, financially also you will not be successful. But if you are successful in your career life, chances are you will do well and have financial success too. But the problem is, I said, without the spiritual understanding, we are still vulnerable, and many things can still afflict us, especially so the first noble truths in reality or condition, which are also the realities of life and existence. This is the reason why the Buddha renounced the world once he saw the foresight of an old man, a very sick man, a dead man, and a samana, or a renounced holy man in Rome. The then Buddha to be realized that he had a problem with regards to old age, sickness, and death. Hence he sought the spiritual understanding to gain the wisdom to free himself from all these problems. He then developed the spiritual understanding and became a Sammasambuddha underneath the Bodhi tree. Without the true spiritual understanding or wisdom, one cannot be free from all suffering, where one can still have fear, worry, and anxiety, etc. Via one's own self-delusion or sakkayaditthi, which will condition one to cling onto and grasp onto one's five aggregates of form and mind. Hence, one should realize the importance of cultivating the spiritual understanding via meditation as taught by the Buddha to enable one to live the noble life of love, peace, joy, and harmony. Only then can there be no more worry, no more fear, no more anxiety, no more sorrow, lamentation, and unhappiness, etc. The spiritual understanding will lead to non-delusion and wisdom, enabling us to clearly understand who we are, what we are, and how human beings function, and eventually leading to enlightenment in the here and the now. So this aspect are important understanding that as a cultivator of the way, we must develop them. If you don't develop them, then it's very unlikely that you can have the wisdom to understand life and to live the noble life or the wonderful life on this planet Earth, our conditioned world. Okay, maybe I just go into this a bit deeper, so that we can do some discussion on it before we go to 1.5, because 1.5 is about the cultivation. Okay. So regarding the 6 Patriarch Platform Sutta, the 2 poems, I think we have gone through. What happened is when Sun Xiu wrote that poem in order to find out whether he has the wisdom to qualify himself to receive the title, the 6 Patriarch title that is to be bestowed by the 5th Patriarch Hong Ren. His was based on his own cultivation at that time, where he had not realized the true mind. To him, he just trained his thinking mind, mundane mind. And he spent a lot of time cultivating, of course. Then he thought that's the wisdom that he needs to qualify, not knowing that he has not really developed the true understanding. So as aptly explained by the 5th Patriarch to him, he said, you are at the gate of enlightenment, but you don't know how to enter it or realize it, because he doesn't understand what that true mind is. So in cultivation is not something that is very straightforward or easy. If your cultivation is thought-based, you depend a lot on the thought process. Then the thought that refuses to die or cease can never realize the aspect of mind that is beyond thought, beyond mind. To realize our true awareness nature, our true mind. So that is where he failed. So in his poem, he expressed it quite well in the sense that he understood the Theravada sainthood ways teaching. He said our body is like a Bodhi tree, because the Bodhi tree is the tree that can bring about enlightenment to Sakyamuni Buddha when he sat underneath it. So our physical body is it, along with mindfulness, perception, and thought. They also can give rise to enlightenment in the here and the now, as per the saying by Sakyamuni. Is it? Within this phantom length body, means our physical body, along with perception, mindfulness, and thought, I proclaim the world, the cause of the arising of the world, the cessation of the world, and the path that leads to the cessation of the world. That means he can proclaim the Four Noble Truths. He can realize the sainthood way leading to maybe enlightenment at the Arahant level. So that one is true. That's why finally the 5th Patriarch says, you are at the gate, but you don't know how to seize the mundane mind to enter the realm of the true mind or true nature. You're almost there, but you don't know how to seize it, because you think you have to look for it. That one you cannot look for it, because the one that look for it is the thought. As long as the thought is active, it can never cease. That's why I say that nature, without thought, you are already aware, means the awareness nature already there. Why do you have to search for it? It is the primordial mind, before the arising of all the rest, the thinking, the thought process, the mundane mind, and all this creation. So to realize that, you need to cease the thinking, not suppression, not through suppression or through any thought-based energy field meditation. You cannot suppress it. You cannot develop a conditioned mind to fix it so that it does not think. That one no use. It has to be a free mind that doesn't arise any thinking, any sankhara activity, completely tranquil and still. Then that nature was surface. In fact, that nature was all the time there. Before your mundane activity and movement. So that is the part that I want to let Kayamita develop the clearer understanding. That's why we call it the awareness-based meditation. You only need to maintain awareness to realize that nature. Without thought, you're already aware. So don't try to be aware. Don't try to do, don't try to know. All this is by the thought process. When the thought is active, you cannot be aware. You cannot realize the true mind. When you understand, it's very simple. When you don't understand, you can be deceived by it for a very long period. That's why even Venerable Sun Xiu, after so many years of cultivation and practice, still cannot realize the truth or develop the understanding. So he said, our body is like a bowie tree. Then the mind, he got it wrong. That was the mundane mind. He said, our mind, which to him is the mundane mind, is like a mirror bright on a stand. That one is the mundane mind. That is not our true mind. Then he said, we must constantly polish it until it shines, so that no dust can alight, so that there is no more defilement. To him, he still cling on to duality because he believes you must polish until it shines, means that mundane mind must be ever mindful. So that whatever dust comes, he's supposed to polish it or remove it. Means hold on to the wholesome, the pure, and do away with the defilement or negative aspect of mind states. So he thought this is the way forward, not knowing that he got two aspects of the poem completely wrong. The first aspect is the mind, where he hasn't realized the true mind. So that is the first mistake. The mundane mind is not the true mind. And because he cannot penetrate the true mind, his second mistake is he was trapped in duality. Means wholesome, unwholesome, pure and defiled. Means dust to him is negative, defilements. That's why he said, polish until it shines so that no defilement or dust can alight. By doing that, he thought he can maintain his mind ever pure. Means something towards like ever mindful. But he doesn't know that you need to use that pure mind or mind without thought to silently observe, to awaken, to develop the wisdom, and the mind that realizes itself sees, thereby realizing the true mind. And when the development of wisdom is stable enough, that mundane mind will cease, and the pure awareness also will cease with it to return to our cessation of form and mind. Means you realize the source. Even a glimpse of it is already good enough, or short moments for the sainthood way. So this is where Sun Xiu got trapped. That's why when Hui Ning came, he proclaimed his counter poem to tear apart Sun Xiu's poem. Where he has realized the true mind. He was born without the mundane mind. That's why easy for him. Then he straightway in the opening statement, he said, Bodhi, which is wisdom, is not a tree. Puti Peng Wu Su. Bodhi, which is enlightenment, is not a tree. It's nothing to do with all this, is it? Then the mind, the true mind, is not the mirror bright nor the stand. Ming Jing Yi Fei Tai. Then the third stanza is the best. 本来无一物, is it? Originally, that nature is the way it is, empty, nothing. Then where can the dust align? Your dust are duality created by the mundane mind, the thinking mind, that create the duality, the division. If you don't create, then the other side, the opposite, duality also will cease. But the moment you create one, the opposite manifests immediately. So you are fighting your own creation, not realizing that to cease it, you don't have to fight. The moment you don't create, it ceases. That's why the Buddha is very wise. He said, Imas means sati, idang hoti, means when this aspect of the duality arises, when you create one, then the other side automatically arises. So that is the meaning of Imas means sati, when this arises. Imas means asati. That will also arise. Then the next part of the stanza is the best. Imas means asati, idang na hoti. So when this ceases, is it? That also ceases. Because when you don't create, the duality cannot manifest. Why? We can understand very easily when you create a duality of pure, means what? Whatever that is not pure automatically become unpure, isn't it? Or defiled, isn't it? So like the convention of good, whatever that is good according to your convention, you define it, understand? So whatever that is not in accordance with this good, the opposite will manifest. That's why you will have duality to argue, to fight, to complain. So this is where sensual fail to penetrate the mind and the duality. Huining, because he is born without the mundane mind, he has penetrated this, he can tear apart sensuous poem. That's why he said, 菩提本无树，明镜亦非台，本来无一物，何处惹尘埃? So that is so beautiful. Bodhi is not a tree. And the true mind is neither the mirror bright nor the stand. Originally, that nature is empty. Where can the dust or defilement align? And it's so beautiful. So that is the first aspect of the understanding that we need to develop the clear understanding of awareness-based meditation, leading to the direct seeing that can awaken us to develop the wisdom which is beyond thought, beyond mind. Because that one is beyond the mundane mind. You must realize the true mind. That's why our awareness-based meditation is very important. Not to go and chase after thought, chase after all the method techniques and maybe skillful means and others. You must not get me wrong. You can use it as a skillful means to prepare yourself, to train yourself to develop the mindfulness. Then you must actually use it to meditate. And then it's okay, no harm. But don't hold on to it and continuously use thought to approach it. You will fail. You will fail miserably. Your thought-based meditation cannot bring about an understanding or wisdom that is beyond thought, beyond mind. You can't. You have to make use of it to develop the understanding, to cultivate sati or mindfulness, to develop the silent mind, the awareness nature within, until that one becomes very clear. But not through a conditioned state of mind, not through energy field, not through concentration, not through all the funny method and technique which are based on thought focusing or doing. You have to develop mindfulness. So mindfulness can be like mindfulness of whatever, like the Buddha taught. Buddha Nusati, mindfulness of the 9 great virtues of the Buddha. That one okay. Mindfulness on death. Marana Nusati means contemplate on the 9 great virtues, contemplate on the urgency of cultivation. So all this contemplation, you can develop it to take you in, to develop the faith, the spiritual faculty, so that you can have those mind that has the spiritual faculty that can bring about the transformation. When you have the spiritual faculty, they are the mind that is without thought. Where the spiritual faculty are without thought. Saddha, faith, is without thought. Virya is not effort, it's a tenacious zeal, Z-E-A-L, that drives you to cultivate. So all these are the understanding. That sati is mindfulness, just awareness, aware, finish. Then samadhi is the stability of awareness. That's why all the 5 spiritual faculty, the last one being wisdom, is also not a thought. It's based on direct seeing, awakening. All these are without thought, but they lead to the realization of the true mind, the silent mind. That's why when the spiritual faculties are there, the mental hindrance, the opposite 5 cease to be. That's how you realize your true mind. So Mahayana chanting, you have the faith, you develop the spiritual faculty. That can, from the skillful means, you can also develop it. But you have to have understanding. Well, ultimately, it's not to arise the thought, to silence everything and let it cease. Let the thinking slow down and finally cease. Via its own understanding, the mind that realizes itself will cease. You will reach a point of understanding where the Buddha explained very clear. He said all of Sankhara activity, our thought process, our heedless thinking, even the so-called analysis or reasoning, also same, also trapped in Sankhara. Sabbe Sankhara anicca, he said, it's impermanent. It come and go, come and go. The more you create, the more you churn, you get into more entanglement, more problem. Then the second part of the saying, after Sabbe Sankhara anicca, all Sankhara is impermanent, is Sabbe Sankhara dukkha. It will lead to suffering, attachment, clinging, grocery. But you don't understand what Sankhara is. They are dependent originating, condition arising Dhamma, not a permanent unchanging entity. That's why they are impermanent. Follow nature's law. If you want things your way, you will suffer. Because it follows nature's law. When conditions are that things will like, it cannot be otherwise. If you still want things your way, which is not nature's way or condition, you will suffer. That's why finally the Buddha said, Sabbe Sankhara anicca, Sabbe Sankhara dukkha. Then Sabbe Dhamma, all Dhamma, whether it's conditioned or unconditioned, is anatta. Anatta means not a permanent unchanging entity, empty, non-self, not what you think. So all these other understanding that you can realize if you cultivate awareness-based meditation based on spiritual faculties. Okay, so that part finish. Then we go to the other part, which is understanding life. See, to understand life, there are two aspects of life. One is the normal mundane mind or mundane life, mundane aspect of life. So, as a human being, we have been exposed to a lot of maybe teachings or even educational conditioning. We believe in what society tells us. Most of us, when we are young, you have to study well, you must be ambitious, you must have a good career, you must have success in life. Not only academic success, career success leading to financial freedom. Then with the financial freedom, you can have the money to become more happy and buy you a lot of good things, thinking that materialistic wealth can lead to happiness. But then, without the understanding of this important teaching, the Dhamma, you will also be vulnerable. Like the Buddha said, the first noble truth reality, the eighth reality, these are common realities where all living beings or human beings, if you live life long enough, you have to confront them all. And without the wisdom, the Dhamma understanding that the Buddha has taught us, you will suffer. You cannot free. So because of that, despite all your success, your wealth, your reputation, your academic excellence, your career excellence, your career success, financial freedom, you make a lot of money. But then when you confront this eighth reality, it is of not much help. Maybe with your wealth, it can help you to get the best doctor or pay for all the very expensive diagnosis, surgery, or whatever. But then, there are a lot of things money cannot buy. Like your health, money alone cannot buy. You must have the understanding to have the good health. Then life, when it comes to a point where you're supposed to confront death, money also has its limitation. You cannot buy back life with money. That's why a lot of people willing to spend a lot of money to seek cure. In the ancient day, the emperor, they look for 长生不老, means eternal life. But there is no such thing as eternal life, because the form and mind is the mortal aspect of life. That's why the Buddha says it's of the nature to grow old, this physical body of ours, to get sick, to be injured, and finally die when consciousness separate. So all these are the understanding that can help you develop the wisdom to free. Without all this understanding, you can't. So when it comes to life, mundane, materialistic success alone, not enough. Like the seminar book that I delivered in the year 2013 while I was invited to Bangkok, the World Buddhist Conference on all this understanding life, following the Dhamma way and all those things. I mentioned it in that paper clearly. I said, as a human being, we can reach the pinnacle of our materialistic success, especially the few things that I mentioned just now. Maybe you grew up in a family environment that is reasonably, not to say wealthy, means the four basic needs of life are taken care of. Means you don't have to suffer. Yeah. Then maybe you can have a good education. You're able to secure great success in academic excellence. And you did very well in your academic life. You reached maybe the pinnacle of it, where you find success. Then you come out to work. Let's say you did very well in your career. You also reached the pinnacle of it. Then after that, of course, financial freedom, financial stability. You can also be successful. Then after that, normally people think about having a family, start a family life. And that fourth, materialistic success is not easy to have. Most people don't have understanding to have a happy family. Despite the wealth they have, they are not able to achieve that family unit that is beautiful, understanding, and full of love, harmony, and understanding. So that part, seldom people can achieve it, unless they also have the spiritual understanding. Otherwise, not easy. That's why you look into life. Materialistic success, or what we call mundane success alone, without the Dhamma, the spiritual understanding, is not enough to guarantee us the happy life, the good life, despite whatever materialistic success you may have. So all this, we have to develop understanding so that our focus on the cultivation is very clear. Is to develop the missing link of the spiritual understanding. So when we have the spiritual understanding, then we combine with our materialistic success or mundane success, then we will understand life completely. It will complement us to give us the good life, to have the good understanding of life. When we understand both the unconditioned and the conditioned aspect of life, means both the conditioned Dhamma and the unconditioned Dhamma's wisdom, then we truly understand life. And when we have that, it's just like what the sutta said, when you realize true emptiness, when you understand the profound wisdom of both the mundane and the supramundane, then life becomes wonderful existence. Means life becomes meaningful, wonderful, and you can come to realize all of the prestige, beauty, and wonders of life. And this is why spiritual understanding is very important, and we have covered it. Okay, so with this understanding, we will move on to 1.5. Okay, 1.5. The essential understanding that we summarize based on what we have covered earlier on. So the first recap is the importance of understanding Dhammapada verses 1, 2, 183, 21, 22, and 23, and the final advice of the Buddha before his parinibbana. Once one comprehends all these Dhammapada verses, one will understand the importance of training the mind to be heedful and ever mindful. Then one will, like as if you wake up from the deluded dream state. We are seeing the danger of heedless living, and one will then be very serious about life to develop the cultivation. Bring it down, so bring down to number 1. Okay, so now I will explain this. Wow, the wind is very strong. My side here, you can hear the wind howling. Okay, so in order to develop the cultivation, These are the few important Dhammapada verses that I have extracted from Dhammapada itself. Verse 1 and 2, the twin verse, the opening two very important verse. If you are a cultivator, you must understand this. Otherwise, you will never progress. Yeah. To penetrate the Dhamma, the first thing we need to develop is the basic understanding of what governs life and existence. So what governs life and existence, like what we have gone through before, is the mind. That's why the Buddha said under Dhammapada verse 1 and 2, mind is the forerunner of all things. Mind is chief. When mind arises, all things arise. So that is fundamental, basic understanding. Even Bodhidharma say the same thing. To meditate, to develop the wisdom, you must start with basic understanding of mind. You must understand that you have two minds. One is the true mind, the other one is the mundane mind, the thinking mind, the mano. The thinking mind, the mundane mind, is the one you have to be careful. Where he said this one is the forerunner of all things, this is chief. When this mundane mind arrives, all things, all creation within your field of sense experience, they arise, they are created. That's why we have the pure nature. The source, the first thing to come out is the pure awareness nature. And this one is the one that is responsible for the arising of the mano or mundane mind, or the thinking mind. That's why the third circle is the mundane mind. Then the mundane mind with its physical body and the senses trigger off the phenomenal world of consciousness. Upon contact, consciousness arises. And this is how you know the world. This is how you interact with the world. That's why you created this phenomenal mundane existence. So all this, if you are mindful, you can see them, you can understand them. Then you can put it to test. See whether what the Buddha mentioned under Dhammapada verse 1 and 2 is true or not. So Dhammapada verse 1, the Buddha said, knowing that mind is the forerunner of all things, mind is chief, when mind arises, all things arise, then you must act, speak and think with a wholesome mind, free of the evil roots of greed, hatred and delusion. If you do that, then happiness will follow you, like your shadow will never leave you. That is Dhammapada verse 2. That is avoiding all evil. Do good. Purify the mind. So Dhammapada verse 2 is very important. When you are mindful of this mind, then you take action. That's why you will train your mind to develop heedfulness and mindfulness. From mindfulness, you stabilize it to be ever mindful, then develop heedfulness. Once you do that, you will follow Dhammapada verse 2. But if you choose to be heedless, like Dhammapada verse 1, he said, if you know mind is a forerunner of all things, mind is chief, when mind arises, all things arise. But if you choose to act, speak and think with a heedless mind, means you refuse to train yourself to develop the wisdom and the understanding, then you will act, speak and think with a heedless mind that has the evil roots of greed, hatred and delusion. If you do that, the Buddha said, suffering will follow you, like the wheel that follow the hoof of the cart. So these are the important Dhammapada verse understanding. That's why if you understand verse 1 and 2, you must know how to choose where your life. You hold the key to your own life destiny. To be happy or to be unhappy or miserable is entirely your choice. So choose to avoid Dhammapada verse 1 via diligently training your mind with the faith and the understanding to avoid all evil, do good, and purify the mind, which is the advice of the Buddha. That's how Dhammapada 1, verse 1 and 2 comes about. And when you understand these two verses, you know how to start your cultivation. You will know how to train your mind to be heedful, ever mindful, to avoid all evil, is by keeping your precept. Then cultivate wholesomeness. We are cultivating a Noble Eightfold Path factor with right view, leading to right thought, right speech, right action, right livelihood, and the four right effort, followed by right sati and samadhi. So this is how the cultivation can be formulated and developed through understanding. Then Dhammapada verse 183 is a famous verse, advice of all Buddha. That's why it's sabba papasa akaranam. All evil has to be avoided. Kusalesa upasambhada means kusala, wholesomeness. Wherever there is condition for you to perform or do wholesomeness, you must do it. Then sacitta pariyotapanam. This mind, citta, you must purify it, he said. Etang Buddhana Sasana. These are the advice of all Buddhas. Means following the advice of the Buddha, like I mentioned here, you can avoid Dhammapada verse 1 and develop Dhammapada verse 2 to have the good life, the happy life. Then Dhammapada verse 21, 22, 23, as we all have gone through, is on heedfulness. And it points very clearly towards what you must do to develop the wisdom and the teaching. Dhammapada verse 21 defines clearly how you can fall if you don't develop heedfulness or wisdom via heedfulness. So Dhammapada verse 21, the Buddha says, heedfulness is the path to the deathless. The heedful never dies. Whereas the opposite, heedlessness is the path to the dead. The heedless are as if dead. Means the moment you are heedless, you don't train your mind, you don't stand any chance to develop the spiritual understanding. Means as far as spiritual life is concerned, you got no chance at all. That's why the heedless are as if dead. Means spiritually, you are like dead. You may still be alive as a human being, going through existence, but you will suffer. You will become miserable, and you cannot come out of it. That's why the heedless are as if dead. Then verse 22, 23 complement verse 21. So verse 22 is a continuation of verse 21. He said, the wise one, understanding the danger of heedlessness, they will intend on heedfulness. And when they do that, they will rejoice in the rhyme of the Aryas. Aryas are enlightened beings. So they will definitely become enlightened beings. That's why you must choose and intend on heedfulness, means constantly intend to develop this heedfulness. Then verse 23 confirm. He said, if you can train your mind to be ever mindful, constantly meditative, and you hold on to these two principles steadfastly, you will realize the supreme born-free enlightenment in the here and now, Nibbana. So all this very clearly point towards the importance of heedfulness. Then the final advice of the Buddha before his parinibbana is the same. He said, strive on with heedfulness. Apamadena sampadeta. So strive on with heedfulness, means develop heedfulness, then only strive. So these are the advice of the Buddha before his parinibbana. So here I wrote, once you comprehend these verses, you will understand the importance of training the mind to be mindful, to be heedful, and to be ever mindful, leading to heedfulness. Then you will wake up from your long deluded dream state. We are seeing the danger of heedlessness, and you will then be very serious about life to develop the cultivation. So this is something that all cultivators of the way must develop. So the Dhammapada verses 1, 2, 183, 21, 22, 23, and the final advice of the Buddha before his parinibbana. These are very important pointer teaching. Understand them, see it clearly, and decide for yourself what type of life you want to have. Then once you have this understood, and you determine with faith, sincerity, and diligently cultivate, you are home. You will have no more problem. Then the second part is the danger of letting these three evil roots of greed, hatred, and delusion, which are the roots of all evil, from manifesting in your heart. So we have gone through this many times. By now you should understood the danger of these evil roots of greed, hatred, and delusion. Greed means all of your desire, craving, covetousness, greediness, selfishness, deceitfulness. So all these are evil root of all evil, make you evil. That's why you cannot have them in your mind state. So when you are mindful, you can check them. When you are incapable of having these three evil roots, then you are at least an Arya or Sotapan. So hatred is the opposite, the negative emotion, which is anger, jealousy, hatred, etc. Even envy, envy and jealousy. Then delusion is lack of Dhamma understanding, lack of the three basic right view. Right view with regards to the law of karma, karma niyama, or right view with regards to the law of mind, citta niyama, and also finally right view with regards to the law of truth, Dhamma niyama. So all these are very important understanding. Okay, then the third important point is the importance of arising the four right effort to root out the three evil roots and the five mental hindrance. So this one we have gone through also many times. What are the four right effort? You need to develop the understanding. Maybe I will just go through it quickly. The first two right effort is to counter the unwholesome mind state. So first right effort is to abandon the wrong thought, wrong speech, and wrong action or negativity of mind state that has a reason. Means thought with the three evil roots of greed, hatred, and delusion that manifest the mental hindrance. Then the second right effort is right effort to prevent the arising of all this wrong thought, wrong speech, and wrong action. To do that, you need some wisdom, initial wisdom, developed through contemplation and meditative understanding. So this first two is to overcome unwholesome state, unwholesome mind state that has a reason, and also unwholesome mind state before they arise. You have to prevent it from arising. Then third and fourth right effort is to develop wholesomeness. The third right effort is to cultivate the respective right thought, right speech, right action that are still not in you. You develop them. So you have to contemplate, reflect. Then you have to go deep into it. Be mindful and learn all this appropriate right speech, right action, and right thought. Then the fourth right effort is, after you have developed them, you continue to refine upon this right thought, right speech, right action, until they become a part of you. Until you develop it, until it's a part of you. Means to refine and perfect upon them. Then the last one is, of course, the importance of cultivating the 5 spiritual faculty to overcome the 5 mental hindrances. So according to the Buddha, you don't have to fight the hindrance. Like you have the 5 mental hindrance that hinders your mind from entering the meditative state of inner peace, inner calmness, and inner awareness. So what are the 5 hindrances? They are sensual desire, ill will, which are your like and dislike, pleasant and unpleasant sense experience. If you continuously arise it throughout the day, after every sense experience, then what happens? You develop it until it becomes habitual. So this habitual tendency will make you heedless. But throughout the day, non-stop, you arise them until they become habit. So with the mental hindrance, it will forever hinders you for entering the meditative state of inner peace, inner calmness, and inner awareness. That's why you cannot be aware. So you need to train yourself to develop the opposite 5 spiritual faculties. When they are there, the hindrance cease to be. You don't have to fight them. So the third one is sloth and torpor, mental hindrance. Then after that is restlessness of mind. Then of course, finally is doubt. So all this can be countered by the 5 spiritual faculty, which is Saddha, Virya, Sati, Samadhi, and Panya. Okay, then we go through the notes, then we will end there. So note, under Kaya Nupassana, there is a category of cultivation called Sati Sampajana, mindfulness with clear comprehension, 4 types of clear comprehension. So Sati Sampajana of every action and movement in the present moment. This is the most important cultivation. It can help stabilize one's sati or mindfulness via the daily mindfulness cultivation. Hence, this is the reason why Brother always say, life itself is the real meditation, and life is our true teacher. Because this is life itself, sati sampajana, mindfulness with clear comprehension in the midst of life. Everything you do, mindful in all action and all movement in the present moment. You can do that, your daily mindfulness will stabilize. Then number 2, the 4th type of clear comprehension are clear comprehension of sincerity of purpose. Means you meditate with sincerity. You are not after greed for psychic, for reputation, for materialistic gain and all those things. Then the next one is clear comprehension of domain of meditation. Means meditation can be done anywhere, any place, in any posture. You don't need to wait for you to retire when you are on leave, when you are at a quiet setting. No need. The domain of meditation means wherever you are in the midst of life. Then third is a clear comprehension of suitability. Suitability means the most important place is here, and the now. Most important time is of course the now. And the most important people are the people whom you can actually benefit. And last one is clear comprehension of non-delusion. Then number 3, the domain of meditation means one can meditate any posture, anywhere, any place, and under any circumstances and time. Number 4, anything external form that is created by mind via perception is only a mental image. Always remember that. It comes and goes, hence it's impermanent, not so real and empty. To cling on to it is obviously a delusion. Form is never a problem if we know how to develop the mind to understand it, so that we are not deluded or deceived by it. So don't blame thought, don't blame form, don't blame money or technology. It's the user. If the user has wisdom, then all this become beautiful. So similarly, external form, if you understand, then it's your friend. If you don't understand, you will be deceived. And through delusion, you will do wrong thing. Okay, number 5, the last one. Cultivate the 3 turnings of the Four Noble Truths. This one is very beautiful. The 3 turnings of the Four Noble Truths, I have taught you all before. Go through it to develop the 3 types of corresponding wisdom. So the 3 types, cultivate the 3 turnings of the Four Noble Truths as taught by the Buddha, leading to the 3 types of corresponding wisdom called Suttamaya Panya, Chintamaya Panya, and Bhavanamaya Panya is very important. For detail, please refer to Brother Teo's Dhamma on understanding the meditation as taught by the Buddha. So this one we have covered also. Okay, we end. Make use of the 45 minutes to meditate, to develop this stability of inner awareness. Remember the first 3 of the 4 support. Relax, maintain awareness, then stabilize the awareness. Whatever arises, aware. Don't allow it to continue. Just aware. Then let it be. Aware, finish. Aware, finish. Then let the mundane mind slowly settle down. Mindfully come out of meditation. Try to maintain whatever inner peace, inner calmness, and inner awareness that you have developed for as long as you can. These are the mind states that you need to maintain awareness, to maintain heedfulness in the midst of life. Okay, now we will continue your second session, which is meditation reporting, followed by whatever question that you may have, and also whatever Dhamma sharing that you may have concerning Dhamma in daily life or your meditative experience.
Good afternoon, Brother Teo, Mrs. Teo, and
yes.
thank you, Mr. Puja, for nominating me. Actually, Brother Teo, 刚才我们 go through 那个 page 20那个 question，
是
那几个 question 是很好的，
对
for us to to self answer to that question,
Correct. Yes.
whether 你真正的有没有去怎样讲去理解那几个 question，
对，去 contemplate，
对，
develop understanding of it。
因为第一，我们为什么要 purify 我们的 mind， 就是因为心为根本嘛，每一个
对心为根本，
对，我们每一个念头的 arising 呢，跟它的所谓的sustenance 或者它的 ceasing 都会影响我们的所有的 karmic 的这一切，所以然后就关乎到再下一个 question， 就是来从这个 nature 我们怎样的来到这个所谓的这个 existential world， 然后再怎样的去如何，当我们在这个所谓的 existential world， 我们该做的是什么呢？然后就是我们其实来就是第一，或者你我自己的 understanding 是第一，你是要还债，该还的还，然后下来剩下的时间就是或者剩下来的就是我们储存我们的资粮，然后去做我们的 cultivation。对。 们就是迈向另外一个phase of the life and existence， 就不用再受所谓的 karmic 的束缚，然后我们就没过出那个 samsara 的这个 suffering， 然后每天就起烦恼，还是你在那个什么这个 fire grid 里面，就是一直在打滚的转来转去，在烦恼里面的生活，你就不是真正的 live life 咯，就是不是真的 live life， 跟你的 existence 不是真正的所谓的是当下的，你就是每一天就 lost in thought， 就是这样的生活，然后再接下来的就是你会，就是你有佛法，你有学习佛法了之后，你的生活是不一样的，因为你的 mind 是不会就说怎样讲，就是你不会说被很小的事情你就会哇抓的这么紧啊，然后你一直去，然后再下一个 dot， 你会很，就是你当下有什么你要处理你就处理了，然后你就 OK put it a stop， 你就处理好 OK， 完事了就没事了，就又在 就 move on and on， you know， by 你的生活跟就是以我本身来讲，以前的我的生活不是这样的，因为我是生活在那个以前的生活是生活在 dot 里面，每一天
那个做到
对，带着的走，然后就因为我们的 hearing consciousness 听了一句话之后就在里面 you know 好像来吃不消受不了，
吃不消 agitated
对，所以这样子的生活是真的很
很痛苦，
回想起
a lot of suffering，
对，很苦，而且你所谓的苦而带给家人的苦，
对，
和这个世上的人事物的苦，真的是，其实如果你没有 mindfulness 你是看不到，但是当你在修行当中你看到的所谓的你要对人事物的这个就是所谓的来的 the duty towards them the right
那个很重要，
对
，not easy to understand，
对，所以他这个
So do your duty towards 这个因缘法很重要的 nature's law， 因为种因结果嘛，种善因结善果，种恶因结恶果。So this is the law of karma， that's why 我们讲因果果报。So all this is what Dhamma is all about. If you don't understand this, then you become heedless. Then you dare to do whatever you like in life. 但好像你刚才share 的 very beautiful， 理解了你就懂得怎样去生活了 ，how to live life 咯。Then you will know how to take care mind 咯。Then 人生一世 ，when you arise in this existential world， 有几样东西我们 went through 了。First, most people 来是跟着因缘法，跟着因果 ，means you are born of your karma, heir to your karma, conditioned and supported by your karma, and you are what you are because of your karma. So 为了 karma 你投胎 ，and because of the karmic process, you continue to evolve within samsara. So 第一件就好像你讲了 ，mostly 是来还债的，讨债还债。Then through delusion get entangled. Then 不懂得怎样去 come out of that delusion, the thought process. So 直直给他拉进去了。Then after go through the cultivation, the understanding 了，你有了那个 understanding， you realize life itself is not the way it's supposed to be thought of by normal living being。它不但是来还债讨债 and live the deluded life to be entangled。 他还可以 develop understanding of life， 比如好像你刚才讲 means life got its meaning, its important understanding， 心为根本 means from mind you start. So when you start with mind, you will understand that within us, every form of mind that arises, especially as human beings, there are two aspects of mind. 一个是真心 the true mind, the pure awareness nature. 一个是 mundane mind, 凡心 the thinking mind. That one is subject to karma. That one 你要注意，就好像佛讲 mind is the forerunner of all things, mind is chief. When mind arises, everything arises. So 了解了那一段啊，心为根本啊，你就懂得怎样去生活嘛。If you want the good life, 你要 avoid 那个 evil roots of 贪嗔痴。Dhammapada verse 1, determine to train your mind to be mindful, to be aware. So 那一段 of the cultivation very important. Then if you choose not to be mindful, to continue the heedless way, then when you suffer, you don't blame people. Yeah, this is the reality. Then after that 啊，过了那一段啊，你了解啊，修行啊是很容易的。Follow the advice of the Buddha to avoid all evil, to good, purify the mind. That's why 修 minimum 5戒 the 5 precepts. Then cultivate mindfulness to develop the ability to be aware, to keep our precept. Then develop the understanding of the Noble Eightfold Path cultivation, to develop wholesomeness of action, speech, and thought. Then silence your mind to meditate, to develop the inner awareness, to develop wisdom, to awaken, to live the noble life. Then after that, the next process of 修行啊，就是 to develop the Bodhisattva way, the vow. Then to fulfill our vow, 也是一种understanding 啊，你来这一世是为了什么？为了 fulfilling our vows and developing the cultivation further, the perfection further, to develop more and more understanding of the perfection and the cultivation. Then 你有那个 additional vow, miscellaneous vow. Then after that, you can go into life, deep into life. Means, like I said, wisdom is unending. Understanding life, understanding situation is actually a very, very profound and continuous process. It's very comprehensive, means very extensive in the understanding. That's why 我们的菩萨道，我们会修到很久，很久。Then you will have the understanding that this is really wonderful existence. 你不停的会去修的。Then the other part that the cultivator will also understand is the right duty towards 因缘法 towards the law of nature. 你不会like 忘记那一段的understanding. So 就好像那个金刚经讲的，一切有为法。Everything within the conditioned world are conditioned Dhamma, no reality. 如梦幻泡影 means dreamlike, illusionary, then like a bubble and shadow, no reality. Then like a lightning flash, like a morning dew and a lightning flash. 一路那个什么呀，一如电应作如是观。So all these are the understanding of the conditioned world's existence. Then 你就懂得怎样去 live life, like what you say. Nothing in this existential world 会来影响到你 or affect you or cause you to develop attachment, clinging, grasping. 你不会了的。You just do your duty and develop the understanding, then you move. You continue to manifest based on 那个 understanding. So fulfilling all this, developing all this understanding is very important aspect of life. Then 我们就懂了那几个 question that human being normally ask. What is birth? What is life? What is death? Then how does birth and death comes to be, and how we can transcend birth and death and end samsara? Then how can we develop all the understanding of who are we, what are we? Then when we arise, after we die, what happened? Who died? What died? So all these questions, 我们如果是修行者了 if we are cultivator of the way, we will have the answer, we will know what they are. Then we become very different. That's why 你每一次来那个 life that you develop through your own understanding or the Bodhisattva's ways, understanding and wisdom 你一世一世会 develop further understanding to transform your coming to become different again and again until 你的修行 become like very advanced, very perfect until towards the end 你能够突破了那个 third stage of Bodhi mind development to illuminate the Bodhi mind that illuminate that pure awareness nature clearly, brightly 那一段就 very safe 了 means 那个菩萨就是 will not regress anymore. It will continuously progress and perfect itself until full realization of Samadhahood. So the third phase of Bodhi mind development until the fourth phase is very interesting and very beautiful. Then especially 突破了第三跟第四 when Bodhi mind has the understanding to renounce samsara, then every segmented life that nature choose to arise or come become very, very different. Then that is the true living, like what Kuan Yin 菩萨 in the 心经提到的真空妙有. So all this they were surface then like what you have come to understand and realize is already very beautiful. Then 那个 fulfill one's vows the next stage that you have to develop understanding. Then go deeper into the cultivation to understand. But within the cultivation itself, 它还有很多那些 very amazing and very wonderful type of understanding arising from it. Then all this can become like a list of pointer that you can actually keep in mind whenever the segmented life arises. These are the things you want to understand or develop further understanding. Then you can go and do it and perfect it further. So all these are the very wonderful part of the cultivation which is not taught in the normal preliminary teaching or what we call the sainthood way type of cultivation. So the preliminary teaching of the sainthood way is very different from the supreme vehicle cultivation teaching. So 除非你 really go through that cultivation, develop the affinity with Triple Gem and all the great beings to come into contact with all these causes and conditions and to move this direction, you can never understand all this one. These are the stages of manifestation or understanding that can unfold only in cultivator of the way who has taken this path. the Bodhisattva way to actually train themselves and develop the understanding. That's why 显化问的问题是很 very. These are questions that are related to life, very very closely related to 那个 form and mind 的 existence. That's why 我小的时候 I remember when I was young, I always probe and ask myself, who am I? What am I? What am I doing here? In this planet which is so minute, and the universe is so immense, so vast. So all this, then suddenly 那个 nature 里面讲 you have to meditate to understand. Then straight away I knew, yeah, I had to meditate. By that time 我什么是 meditation 还不懂啊，所以后来它慢慢就因缘法就 evolve 出来了。Then 这个 form and mind 这一次来，他懂得怎样去 accord and flow and develop all this understanding 因为是前世因嘛。That's why past cultivation, past perfection and understanding are very important. That's why that karmic nature 你要 take care. Then develop to perfection the spiritual nature. The spiritual nature also equally important. 这两个once developed, every life you come, you become beautiful. So this is the additional understanding that you have to develop more and more, so that you can perfect yourself as you continue with the cultivation. Okay, Alicia?
Okay, sadhu Brother Teo, 感恩 Brother Teo。是的 Brother Teo。还记得我第一次 recite 那个 vow 的时候，还是我在地藏王菩萨面前，那个 vow 出来3次了。还有之后 Brother Teo 叫我 recite 那个 vow，each time 我 recite 都哭到很。
Yeah，因为是从心里面嘛 ，from the nature 里面呢，它发出来的。你前世有了那个因缘，
所以今世我能够遇到 Brother Teo 跟这 Brother Teo 的学习，
是前世的因缘法来的因为你看这一世你就知道了咯那些因缘等下你看得到了，如果这一世能够有这个因缘法有这个 affinity 前世是 you can deduce 应该更深的 affinity or encounter with living being won't understand because 菩萨他们来的时候they take the normal form most of them, even 文殊普贤 and many other great beings even 观世音they manifest as normal human being 1986年观音的那些来的她是一个 old lady in white then 那个我们要去五台山了嘛，那个文殊Manjushri, there are many stories about Manjushri appearing in Uthai-san there for cultivator all the way to meet, and most of them met him without knowing who he is, and he manifests as beggar and normal 的 citizen 罢了so even like 这一次我们凯亚米达的因缘法 a lot of you all before you know my nature you don't know, you just thought 一个普通的修行者罢了or maybe a normal friend or somebody you came to know, so maybe most people know me as I'm a civil engineer, that's it but those who attend 我的那个 Dhamma Sharing they will develop new understanding then you look back all this is not by chance 它有它的因缘法它有它的前世因在那一天我 share 的那个 video is very good 前世种下来的因缘今世一定要修修到it become fruition 啊，修成果是吧？the Mandarin word 修成果 that one very important. Even all of the past affinity that we have developed as cultivator of the way, if you don't make use of it and develop the fruition of what you have aspired for or planted, it will not materialize or no. So a lot of people actually who don't have the understanding, they miss it or no, because of karmic obstruction and all this. But 你有了那个 affinity 跟因缘法，就好像你的 case even after going through depression or what 16年才有他的因缘法嘛。You have to wait for that timing to pass on. Then only 它就会现出来。Then you will appear one. Then 你就会听，就会去修。And within 短短整10年it has transformed you tremendously. And 你已经 like connect back to what your past is, so that you can recall all this. 跟地藏王菩萨那个 affinity 那些，and all this you will develop the understanding yourself. Then 他的 chanting 他的愿什么，他自己会显出来的。So all cultivator of the way, they will have to go through all this experience, all this, and understand how all these are possible. So 它是前世因的因缘法来的。So whatever we do, if we have the past, then the cultivation and the understanding, it will come, it will unfold, and you will inherit back on. Then you will see the beauty of all this. That's why 你的 fate become different again. Then life after life, you will actually determine very strongly to strive on with faithfulness to continue this process of cultivation and development. 很好，continue Alicia
Yeah， 本来就是的，因为对我而言，这太重要了，真的很重要很重要。如果你没有这个 understanding 你来了真的好像不然就讲了 might as well don't come。
是咯，如果你不懂这些 you might as well don't come， otherwise 很 very very miserable 真的好像玄化用这个 word you suffer until 什么what is the Mandarin word 苦到好像没有眼泪流出来不能够流眼泪，真的苦的那种苦I also don't know. He used a type of Mandarin word which is very very impactful. He said 千万不要种错因结错果He said then he said don't know 苦到什么I cannot remember the Mandarin word but very meaningful.
就其实我经历前半世的那个所谓的 life 真的很苦，因为 suffering is like every day, you know.
Yeah, 不停的，因为那个 wrong thought very powerful. 它好像牛角尖这样在里面转呢。
对，就是好像 tape recorder 这样，每一天
是tape recorder repeating and suicidal thought 的，做到你的很苦就是
但是不然就当你走出来，能够接触不然就所教的那个 two aspect of fire aggregate
，yeah，一下子就like哇，整个人好像不一样去了 ，like you suddenly awaken 哇，原来是全部都是they call it false appearance 你们华语叫什么 false appearances
假象是吗？
假象 no reality not what you think so 一切相都是假象that's why 慧能六祖的 three hallmark The second hallmark of Huining is very important. 那个无人相、无众生相。Then in Mandarin is the three description. No mark means no mark of a self existing, no mark of others, then no mark of life, no mark of Dhamma. So no life, no mark of life, 华语叫什么啊？
它有无众生相、无寿者相、无人
还有一个
还有一个是没有。
It's no mark of life, existence, and Dhamma, everything. 无寿 that one is no mark of a self, no mark of others. Then 还有一个 no mark of existence, means no mark of Dhamma, no mark of life, existence, all this that human being cling onto, grabs onto, no reality 那个一切都是 mark 来的，你去抓你就中了它。That's why 那个相很厉害。False experiences means 你不会去给它骗去了，它抓你不到了。You cannot be deceived by all the phenomenal world of form and consciousness. 那个 fail to delude you 了，因为你看透了，一切相都是假象。Then you will really awaken on. We are no mark of a self, no mark of others, and no mark of life, existence, even Dhamma, everything. 好像星星讲了，真的那个相要破相破相论不容易So 那个是 second hallmark of Huining. So 修行者能够破了那个一切 become like very clear to you 就好像你经过了。After you develop the understanding of the five aggregate, the sati, the mindfulness, the awareness, to penetrate the awaken, then you develop the understanding, then you locate the gateway, 你能够进去。All this is the one that help transform the cultivator. That's why 一切 understanding 就 completely different 了。The way it unfold 它 become like very different one 真的很 amazingly wonderful and beautiful and transform the form and mind completely 那个智慧 that manifests from it, the wisdom, so beautiful, especially via the awareness nature, the direct seeing and awakening. So 修到那一段就很不一样了。Then at that time when we discuss the Dhamma, when we share the understanding, it becomes like so different. We can evolve and move into area of cultivation where normal sainthood way or those that don't take the supreme vehicle cultivation, 他们不能够理解的，他们都根本都没有那个因缘去 develop that type of cultivation，他们修不到那一段的智慧 and understanding one. That's why understanding life is a major topic, really major. 很好 Alicia, continue, sorry.
Yeah, brother. 其实我非常的感恩，因为我认为我是一个非常糟糕的人，佛菩萨这么眷顾，让我遇到 brother 就让我 develop 这个因缘。其实这个因缘
前世因来的嘛，因为前世你也有做过很多好事嘛，就好像今世这样了。你跟 Freddy 很多 wholesomeness So all this is what affinity is 有了那个因缘法，它一世一世它会 manifest， especially during sasana， 它会有这些因缘法That's why you all will arise after my nature arises. So 它有那个因缘法会拉作 and 他自己现出来的。My nature also didn't do anything because of the vow 他自己会现出来的。Then 他会联系 everything 嘛，很奇怪的。你没有走这条菩萨道啊 ，you cannot understand one. This is what the real understanding of Dhamma is. 一切有为法 ，and that 有为法 ，they 联系的，真的 ，they connect everything one and a lot of things that manifest and happen, you look at it, you understand, how can it be like that? A lot of things must happen for it to be like that, and yet it happened. 就好像你的 case you went through depression 16年了 then 我不认识你了，你也不认识我了，为什么会有那个因缘法 ？Finally， 你能够到我这边，又能够去听了。Develop the cultivation and understanding and determine to actually come out of it. 那个不是一个 like something that is possible, no, it's like impossible one. Then 我们的 age 也有几年的差别了，也不是说你是 from 我的 hometown or ex schoolmate or 没有的 totally north and south 都没有那个可能 to meet up one actually but somehow it will link one or through Vincent and then 又会提起你的 condition then 问我能够 help 帮忙吗 then 我说 I told Vincent I remember I said can I said but you have to ask her I said 我叫她问你 if she wants to come then bring otherwise 没有那个因缘or causes and condition behind 你来都没有用的 but because of your past affinity and condition 你没有 immediately 来 I remember after 2 months after 他问我了 then suddenly 他 call 我他说不丢she is coming tonight 但是那一天我一遇到你进我的家的门呢我就感觉得到了哇你那个时候你的 form and mind a lot of suffering 你的头都不敢提起来then you like full of sorrow, sadness, fear, then 坐在那边but 是这样的因为因缘法是这样的有缘人他是会来的 that's why what they say in some of the video that has been shared is very beautiful there are certain things that even Sammasambuddha also cannot do if you don't have all those things. One of them is the Buddha cannot help people that have no affinity the triple gem. 无缘人不能度 But once you have the affinity it is very amazing 他 somehow 自己会联系起来的他就会 appear and it will also have the condition to listen, understand, learn and develop the cultivation and transform. 那些没有那个缘分有怎样逼他来都没有用的来了也会不见去的 That is the way the nature is. That is the way the yin and fa operate. So when you understand all this, you will see the amazing power of Dhamma. So 佛法就是有它的 wonders and amazing feature. So 真正的要理解佛法就是要修这些 Supreme Vehicle Teaching 菩萨道 until full perfection. Then you become very different. That's why 佛菩萨他们的 nature when they arise to help living being very different 你怎样 chronic 他如果有因缘有那个 affinity 他都能够 help you out and transform you and deliver if no affinity no matter how cannot means cannot，它就是这样的。This is the way the 因缘法 work. So Dhamma is just the way it is. Condition like that, things will unfold the way it's supposed to be, and it will be the way it is. So 一切有为法，如梦幻泡影，如露亦如电，应作如是观。That's why the Diamond Sutta stanza, they are very beautiful. Once you develop the cultivation, you will understand it profoundly and so beautiful. 它就是这样的。That's why that statement, 一切有为法 very powerful. Everything within the conditioned world are just conditioned Dhamma. And conditioned Dhamma can manifest so amazingly and so beautiful. 不错不错，今天 share 的很好 ，Alicia。continue。
是感恩，这个就见证了我们Brother Yusuf 跟我们讲的，就是佛菩萨处处都在，就是
ever radiating for the cultivator of the way， 他们的 nature
对，所以
they are ever radiating for the cultivator。你就是真正的修行者你就能够 have affinity with them then 联系到他们的 nature and it will always actually help you That's why we use the word they are ever radiating for the cultivator of the way。
就所以有时候我 suddenly recall to mind 某一个菩萨或者什么的时候，我会很自然的就会pay respect 给他们，然后就感恩
develop the respect, the gratitude, then thank them profusely, and then after that request their protection, guidance, and blessing。这个很重要。
对，所以 Brother 我很感恩，我这一次能够这个这么珍贵的佛法能够在我人生中出现和 manifest， 还有因缘的去修行。还有另外一个我想讲的是，这个佛法不单单给我们所谓的自在或者所谓的 peace， 它是另外有一个另外一个怎样讲，就是你整个人会有很担当啊，就是怎样讲，就是来你就有那个 responsibility 的，我很奇怪，它就是
you will know how to fulfill the duty one。
对，就是就是它就是 manifest 到你你不会说我怕这个，我怕那个，我不要这个，我不要那个，它就是
你不会这样的，
对你很有，对你就有很担当的，就说 OK。我明白了这个事情是这样，然后我很，
你看到那个因缘法吗？有了那个因缘法 ，you will go and do one， because you will manifest to arise one。因为我们的 nature 有了那个智慧它是 accord and flow one很奇怪。That's why without condition my nature I don't do anything one I don't do anything one。But 有了那个sign or 因缘法。then 我的 nature 知道了它就会 manifest， 它就会去做它该做的东西因为这个是因缘法嘛。但是因缘法 very important very important to really understand condition Dhamma you need a lot of wisdom and cultivation so learn to see sign is very important then learn to understand how to manifest in accordance with condition 那个更 important， 因为 that one need wisdom very true Alicia 你讲的。
这个就因为之前有某一个 condition， 其实我知道那个是应该是这样，就是说我应该知道要 end 这个东西，但是我就再给一个机会着去见证一下怎样那个因缘，you know， 哇，他真的 manifest 到给我，
给你看了，
看到准你，
对
，condition 这样就是这样，他 cannot be otherwise，
他是 like already the conditioning very strong 了，不能够改的，是这样的， 除非有他们说like 神奇的什么了 like miracle 啊 but actually 不是 miracle， 它是除非有那种 special 因缘啊 that manifest 啊 and make it possible， otherwise 啊没得救了的，就是那个因缘法就是这样了的，一定走过一定 manifest in that direction 了的but sometimes for certain type of beings, the condition can just arise because of certain very unique, special condition within nature that happen during that time or then 它会 reverse the whole thing then it will appear to help that being but these are very rare very very rare
是的，不然就真的不容易。我发觉到我们需要真的有很多的智慧去 deal with
智慧 a lot of wisdom 你的 and 你感应得到的有了那个 understanding you can sense it meant to be one 就是这样的it's going to happen already that's why 佛法 is really wonderful a lot of such manifestation where only cultivator of the way can understand and experience and develop the training and cultivation to move on to deeper understanding of all this. Then 他一世一世来他又在 evolve and become very beautiful again That's why different civilization, different segment of one's life and cultivation, 你来你做的东西你看到的东西你理解的东西全部不一样That's why it's called wonderful existence that one very very beautiful and very interesting also amazing That's why wonderful existence 真的它是真的 very wonderful amazingly wonderful
Yeah, but when I look back 其实这个因缘早注定了
对早就定了的
对因为我 look back 我当下第一次进去 Brazil 那边然后跟着一直来的所有的凯拉米达的 encouragement
对
凯拉米达的帮助我都记在心里的非常的感恩因为真的没有大家的所谓的这个因缘法我也不可能走到这里对我而言真的是很多的感恩所以我每当就是我最近读那个 Path to Nibbana 真的is
那本新书
对 that book 我下午我才跟阿松讲That is it 就是这样了就是
That is the book That is the one that will give you the understanding
Yes
那个我 explain a lot inside there a lot of aspect of the Dhamma from the four circle formation explanation then also about 那个因缘法 since I started until now how all this fall into place 它全部actually my nature didn't do anything but it just unfold by itself and within less than 20 years everything just happened then in between 好像你跟很多那些凯亚米达能够接触这个佛法 infinity and develop the understanding 那个还 not counted inside there what is been explained is only the cultivation part and how all these are made possible through all the like we say 凯亚米达系那个佛有的因缘法 and all those things and that's how all the people who are supposed to come and help out and help move all this they will just appear and it will just fall into place then even for 你的 case 你讲很多凯亚米达 which is very true one of them I can remember is Sweet if he don't do the recording don't produce it so fast 你没有追他，他还不能够 actually do it up within the same day the Thursday class 那个 Thursday class he do very fast that's why 你们有那个 condition to listen to it then he take the trouble to go and buy the pen drive record and give it to Kayamita so all these are the causes and conditions. Then the people responsible for the recording, the transcripting, help out in the documentation of the transcript book or Dhamma book that we supposed to print out with the Kayamita Fund away. 这些一切都是因缘法联系起来了的。So you look back, you look at how complicated that 因缘法 is. Even those who may not understand much, but because of the faith, they have encountered the Kayamittaship and the sharing, then they decide to even contribute to Kayamitta Fund, and they are part of all this movement. Then 它会联系到很多 in the future or what will happen. Well, this is a gift of truth and all those things. And from 这个佛法 that has been shared through all this book, especially the Heart Sutra and all the transcript book and Dhamma book that we have printed to date, this will help a lot of cultivator of the way on, even Kayamitta, and transform their understanding and cultivation. And it will spin off a lot of what they call 联系到很多那个因缘法的前世因 manifesting into the future, and from the future it continue, and this one will evolve and evolve and evolve. That's why you can never understand its amazing wonder until you have gone through all this. That's why 我的 nature 这一次来我看回oh, this is so beautiful, and the way it unfold and it happen and manifest, you really cannot believe that this is possible. Like the word I use, even if you are allowed, let's say, to plan your life, you cannot plan it so well. The way it unfolds is really amazingly wonderful. You on your own, no matter what resources you may have, I ask you to plan your life to your own liking, but you cannot do it. Well, it involves a lot of other people, other things. So you cannot plan your life. No matter how you plan, it will not go in accordance. It will meet an obstacle and a lot of problem. But to have that wisdom, to develop that, is not the thought that plan. It's the wisdom and the understanding from that nature that give rise to the causes and conditions through the vow, through the adhitthana, through the pure wish and all those things. These are the things that can manifest and make it possible. That nature, after you cultivate to that level, it has power to override a lot of things in nature. That's why 它会 create the movement and 现这些东西出来了。It's just like the pure wish that my nature deliver. After that, 那个 being may not know what my nature did, but when the time come, 它会 cause the thing to arise, 它会 cause the being to arise also. So a lot of thing, 你不能够 develop the understanding, if you don't have that depth of cultivation, especially of the Bodhisattva way, the supreme vehicle cultivation. That's the reason why I always say this Dhamma teaching, or 那个佛法的奥妙really beyond thought, beyond mind, and very profound, amazingly wonderful, 真的。过了6点 ，OK, Alicia, 你 summarize
是的 ，Brother 感恩Brother 感念所有的technical team，因为这个接下去就会扰益到很多很多的众生，
对，
它会 benefit 很多很多的众生能够接触佛法，所以在这里感恩 Brother Dio， 感恩所有的礼单，感恩所有的 technical team， 感恩所有的佛友陪我走过这一段路，所以我希望大家一起走下去，感恩阿弥陀佛。
Okay, very good. Let us rejoice. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Very good. That's why today's sharing is another one of the one that I used to predict to you all. From then onward, the sharing will be very different. Because these are all involving the type of cultivation of the Supreme Vehicle, where only cultivator of the way that go this way can develop the understanding. Otherwise, all this cannot come about, and it cannot be in the recording. And future generation of cultivator cannot receive this type of sharing. Because these are seldom understood type of teaching. And this type of understanding is beyond the normal cultivation, way beyond. So with that we conclude. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, now we share merit, transfer merit, then we end. Akasata cha bhumata devanaga mahindika punyang tang anumoditva cirang rakantu loka sasana itta watta ca amehi sampadan punya sampadan sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampati siddhya idang me nyatinang hotu sugita hontu nyateyo idang me nyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyateyo idang me nyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyateyo dewa satu kalena sasa sampati hetu cha vito bhavatu loko cha raja bhavatu dhammiko imina punyang kamina mame bala samagamo satang samagamo hotu yawa nivana patiya. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, you all can now pay respect mindfully to Lord Buddha, Guanyin Bodhisattva, and all the worthy ones. Then we end. Sadhu.